Today we're going to talk about 5 tips to grow your business. Hey, badass business owners. So you want to grow your business, but more importantly, you want to grow your profits. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go over 5 tips to help you grow your business. And yes, even those profits, because at the end of the day, it's what you keep, not how much you sell. Tip number 1, be crystal clear on the pain point that you solve for your customers. They don't think about you until they need you. As much as you want to think that they're thinking about you all the time, they're really not. It's when that pain point comes up, when that need comes up, that they actually think about you. And by the way, when they think about having an issue, they don't think about, oh, I need to find a landscaper. What they think in their head is, who can cut this tree down that is knocking the shingles off my roof? That's the actual pain point that's causing them to go out and find a business. They don't just think landscaper. They're thinking, who can solve this particular pain? For example, they also think, it's 9 p.m. Who can fix this water heater that is flooding my garage? They don't think automatically any old plumber. They're thinking, who can fix this water heater? And the one who speaks to them the most is who they're going to call. So think about this. Are they going to think about Larry's landscaping, or are they going to think about Terry the tree guy? They're going to think Terry the tree guy is going to be the one. Yes, both of these can help me, but I know for sure Terry the tree guy can do it. Paul's Plumbing or Water Heaters Are Us. If I've got a water heater issue, I'm naturally going to be gravitating towards the water heater person. Now, that doesn't mean you need to come up with some stupid name like I'm showing here. It could be something like this: Paul's Plumbing, your water heater specialist. Now, when I'm looking at all the different plumbings, if this guy is the water heater specialist and my water heater's flooding my garage at 9 o'clock at night, odds are I'm going to call Paul's Plumbing. So the main thing is just be very specific. It doesn't mean that Paul doesn't do all types of plumbing. It just means that, this is what he specializes in. And now if I have another plumbing need, I know I can still call Paul. Paul's still going to get the questions about the other plumbing items. But whenever anybody in this area or in the area that he services has an issue with the water heater, Paul is probably going to be the person that they call, because he's identified and put himself out there that he is the water heater specialist. Remember, your customer's hurting. Your whole plan and your whole attack is, how can you help? Because ultimately, that's why people call us as business owners, is they have a pain point and we're the ones that solve it. And that's what you want to make sure you do. Tip number 2, make sure you are charging your value. In the beginning, you take on every single job you can possibly get, but there comes a point where you've got to stop being the cheapest person out there. I get it. There's always going to be people that want to get your services for as cheaply as they can. There's always going to be cheapskates out there, but you can't be one of those people if you want to grow your business, because you're never going to make the profits you need in order to grow. Okay, so stop racing to the bottom. Stop being the cheapest. People will pay for the value that you bring and that you offer, especially as you've been in business and you start to establish yourself. And I know what you're thinking. Well, I'm going to have fewer customers. But guess what? Having fewer customers and people, when you raise your prices, losing some people, it doesn't mean you're going to have less profit. And I'm going to show you how that is true. Let's say you have 50 customers and the profit at the end of the day is $10. Well, that means 50 customers times that $10 of profit means you have $500 worth of profit. Well, what if you drop down to 40 customers? So some people decide to leave you, but you've raised your prices and now you make $15 of profit. Well, guess what? Now with these 40, you're making $600 in profit. Yes, you're making $100 more in profit, but you have 10 less customers. So don't get hung up that you're going to lose a few customers here and there. It's perfectly okay, because you're going to make it up in that profit because you changed your pricing. It's actually going to work out better for you in the end. Now, let's just take both scenarios for a second. And let's just say you've gone out there and you've tried to get more customers. Now, if you haven't changed your prices and you do it, well, guess what? Your old way of pricing, you got 75 customers now. Remember, 50 plus the new 25 at the $10 is $750 worth of profits. But let's say now you do both ways. You've increased your prices and you've gone after more customers. So instead of 40 customers, you have 65 customers. At that $15, you have $975 in profit. Guess what? By raising your prices and going after those customers, you now have $225 more in profit than what you would have had before you raised your prices. So don't get hung up on this. You need to charge your value. And that doesn't mean go crazy and off the charts, but a lot of people hold back raising their prices. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, losing a few people is not going to hurt you like you think it is going to. Tip number 3, you need to focus on your 5-mile radius. Way too many people are driving 10, 25 miles away for business. They want to go to another town and establish a business instead of focusing right at home the way they should. Instead, you're wasting time, you're wasting gas, wear and tear on your vehicle. It's just a big loss for you from a profitability standpoint when you're trying to go all over the world. Most businesses have less than 10% of the available business within their own 5 miles of their home base. For some reason, we think we got all the business in our town and that's all it is, and we need to go search business somewhere else because there's other competitors, there's other things. That's BS. I'm telling you, if you focus on that 5 miles to 10 miles within your home base, you're going to have plenty of business. And if you don't believe me, ask yourself how many households are within the 5 miles of where your business is. And if you need to go to 10 because it's a smaller town, I totally get it. But I'm going to show you an example here in a minute. But I promise you, most of you guys have plenty of business within 5 miles. Yes, you need to be in the right neighborhoods. You can't sell garage doors in a community that doesn't have garages. If they only have carports, your garage doors aren't going to work. So yes, that part needs to make sense if you're targeting certain people. But for most of you, within that 5 miles, you need to focus on. Here's my town, okay? And the big blue circle is 5 miles. The entire town, for the most part, is under the 5-mile radius. And all of this stuff you see down below, these is out in the acreage, and there's people that live out there as well. But here's the core of the town. And guess what? There's over 55,000 people that live in this particular section right here. And that's over 16,000 homes, and it's growing. We're going to double. We're having so many new builds. See all this space being filled in? Not to mention all of this is about to be filled in. And if you only have 1,000 homes, that's still only 6.5% of the households. There's plenty of business in most of your towns if you actually pull it up and look like this. And you just have to pull it up and just look and see how many homes are there. You'll be amazed. Most of you have plenty of business within that 5 to 10 miles of your particular home base. If you have a business out in the boonies, I get it. You got to drive a little bit further. But for the vast majority of you, if you actually just took a blow up of Google Maps and just really looked at that area that you service, you're going to find there's plenty of homes for you to be able to build your business, and you divide it out. Go to your city records or your county records or whatever and see how many people live in your town and how many sales you did. I'm promising you that percentage is very low. Most people are 3 to 6%. Some hit as high as 10. Believe it or not, there's plenty of business out there because you got to go back to solving the pain point. And do you really stand out? There's other things that you're not doing. Now, I want to talk about a couple other things here. Tip number 4, understand the power of add-on items. There's 3 ways to increase your sales. Yes, one, the one that everybody chases is increasing their customer count. But you can also increase your customer frequency, which is how often they shop you. And then finally, increasing your dollar average. Earlier, we talked about charging your value. That's one way to raise your average dollar. The second way is through add-on items, because at the end of the day, listen, we don't have a lot of time. So sometimes, yeah, you can go out and try to get more customers, but there's only so much time in the day. If you're already working tons of hours, you have to focus on other ways to raise your prices and make more money. And guess what? Increasing your dollar average is the number one way, which is one, why we charge our value. And 2 is look at this power of add-on items. So let's take a couple of looks. All right. So let's just say your average ticket is $50 and you're able to raise it to $55, but you do this through add-on items. Okay. We're not talking about your wages that we did earlier. In this case, we're going to find another add-on item and it's going to take it from 50 to 55. And let's just say you have 1,500 customers a year, and those 1,500 customers now are paying an extra $5. Well, guess what? That just gets you $7,500 more in sales. And by the way, most add-on items are almost all profit in most cases, depending upon what it is that you add on. So it's not just $7,500 more in sales. A big chunk of that is also going to be profit. Let's take a look at another way of looking at this. Let's just say you create an add-on item that's $20. So it's just going to be added on, and you still have the same 1,500 customers a year. Now, not everybody's going to buy this add-on item, but let's just say you're able to come up with a great one that 1 out of 3 tend to purchase. Well, if 1 out of 3 purchases, that's 500 customers times this $20 that you're able to get. That's an additional $10,000 in sales that you're able to add on from this one item that you're able to get 1 out of 3 people to purchase. There are some great add-on items. Bundle other small services that are out there. You can have an extra warranty that you add on. You extend it for, maybe it's 3 years, you extend it to 5 years for an additional $20. A cleaner or product, something they can use in between services that you can sell. Think grocery stores, because grocery stores are fantastic at this. At the register, you're going to find the Coke, the soda, the chips. It's because they want you to throw that in your cart. It's almost all profit, and they can raise their average ticket by $1, $2 for each of those. Tip number 5, you need to know your business numbers. You've got to understand where is the money going in your business. And the number one thing that you have out there is your profit and loss income statement. It tracks the money that's going in and out of your business. It's going to show you the income. It's going to show you your cost of goods, the expenses that you have, and your ultimate profit. You need to understand how to read this report. It is by far the number one report that is underutilized by almost all small business owners, but it's one of the most important tools that you have in your toolbox in order for you to be able to make more money in your business and increase your sales. You need to understand your profit and loss, and we have videos out there that help you understand how to read the profit and loss. Make sure you check those out. Also, you need to understand the trends of your business. By understanding the trends in your business and understanding the numbers, it's going to be able to help you maximize your great months as well as to be prepared for your slower months. It's also going to help make sure that you're getting in time. Sometimes we do it all by gut, and guess what? You might be off a week or two, and that's money you're leaving on the table because you're not prepared, or you stay in way longer than you should, or you might find that certain items take off during certain periods and you've never really paid attention to it. Guess what? By diving into the trends and the numbers, you're going to be able to find those hidden gems that can lead to more money. By understanding your numbers, it's going to show you where the money is going. By understanding your numbers, you're going to take advantage of those seasonal sales and make sure you're properly prepared for every month of the year. You're going to identify trends and opportunities more than anything by diving into those numbers and be able to take advantage of it. It's going to help you focus on what matters most. You need to really understand your business numbers, and we got all kinds of things out there to help you do this. It's not about how much you sell. Remember, it's about how much of it you keep. You're in business to make a profit. It's not about I can do $1 million worth of sales. It's about, I'd rather do 200,000 in sales, but I'm going to make 100 grand in profit, where you can do $1 million in sales. And guess what? A lot of those people that do $1 million businesses, they barely make that 100. So which one? Do you want to work for $1 million, or do you want to work for 200 in sales and still get that same $100,000 at the end of the day? All right, so it's about how much that you keep. And if you want to learn more about your business numbers or any of these items that you see on these tips, then don't forget to subscribe to watch more YouTube videos that we have out there for you on how to grow your business, more importantly, how to put more money in your pocket. And if you want to really dive in and understand your business numbers and you want a little bit more than the YouTube videos, then make sure you go to knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. There's a course over there that's going to take a deep dive into your profit and loss, as well as all kinds of other business numbers that you need to understand, like break-even point, balance sheet, all kinds of different things that are out there for you to be able to do. At the end of the day, just understand your business numbers. Hopefully these 5 tips have been great for you and you've gotten a lot out of them. And now get out there and be the badass that I know you are.